So my name is Shoham Adizes. I work at the Adizes Institute. The mission of the Adizes Institute is to change the way management is taught and practiced around the world. In order to understand that, first we have to understand what is management. Why do we need management? The reason we need management, the reason we can't just set up a business and walk away and retire to Hawaii and collect dividends is because the world is changing. I have to stay and watch. I have to stay and monitor. I have to make decisions. I have to change my organization to reflect the changing environment in which it operates. So the old model of management was that I'm the elite manager and I study the problem and I tell you what the solution is. But because of the high rate of change, I don't have time to study those problems anymore. If I'm studying one problem, it's at the expense of these other ones. Who knows the solution? Who's living the problem? It's the workers. If we can harness the power of the men and women working on the line, the men and women who are experiencing these problems, living these problems, they know what's going on. They have tremendous contribution that they can provide in finding the right solution. But there's a danger. There's a danger you're going to undermine the authority structure within the organization. This can be anarchy. How can you bring in these men and women that work on the line, get their knowledge, harness it, without allowing it to undermine the authority system? That's the trick. That's what we know how to do. Well, the moment you have different people working together to solve a problem, by definition, you have different opinions on how to solve the problem. You have different solutions. What does that mean? It means conflict. When your opinion is different than mine, it means we're going to be in conflict. Not to mention the fact that, by definition, you're going to have different interests than I have. My interests and your interests are not going to line up every time, all the time. In fact, that's a utopian expectation. The best we can hope for is to have common interests in the long run. So what does that mean? The moment we start working as a team to start solving our problems, you can expect to see conflict. That conflict can be destructive or constructive. If it's destructive, it's going to destroy your organization. It's going to make your problems worse. But what we know how to do through our process is make it constructive. What does that mean? It means that we are different, but through our differences, we make better decisions. And even though we have different interests, we can focus on that long-term interest so that we all implement these decisions in good faith, quickly, so that way the organization as a whole can succeed and everybody's interests are met in the long run. What are the outcomes? You have multiple outcomes. The first outcome is the decisions that get made are going to be tremendously better. Why? Because you have access to information. The second thing is that when those decisions get implemented, they get implemented much faster. Why? Because you have their buy-in. Why? Because they had the opportunity to go on the record and state their opinion. What makes an organization successful is that culture where we can work together through our differences, make our conflict constructive so we can make better decisions, implement them faster, and thereby adapt to change, solve our problems, fasten the competition, and that's how we get organizations to succeed. That's what makes success.